Hello and welcome to today's topic, manufacturing account, a crucial area for CSEC POA. So what is the manufacturing account? The manufacturing account is associated with businesses that actually produce goods. They produce goods to be sold. For instance, you might have a factory that is producing furniture, or you might have a restaurant, or you might have another factory producing paint. All of these are examples of goods that are manufactured. So what does the manufacturing account actually does? It records costs, all of the costs that are associated with making a product from scratch. So we start off from the raw material right down to the necessary costs in the factory for production. So there are two costs that are associated with production. These are direct costs and factory overheads. So direct costs are costs that are linked directly to making the products. And we will look at an example just now. And factory overheads, alright, we have two examples here. We have direct material and direct labor. But we'll look at a more tangible example in a few. Factory overheads. Factory overheads are costs that are incurred in the factory to produce the goods. For instance, we might have depreciation of machines, or factory insurance, or factory rent, or electricity for the factory. Not just electricity, but electricity for the factory. Alright, here's a further breakdown. So the cost of production, basically you add the direct cost to the factory overhead to get the cost of production. Alright, so let's look at this example of making a product. So suppose we are making a table. What are the items that are going to be used directly in making the table? So basically we have to get the wood, as we can see here. We have the wood, and we'll need screws. Screws to probably screw them in place so that they don't fall apart. But the thing is, the saw and the drilling machine, they are there, but they are not direct material because they are not used, or they're not placed in the furniture that's going to be created. So these two items are items that are probably hired for the specific reason, and they may fall under direct expense. You may hardly ever see this. Anyway, so we have two items here. So we have direct material, as in the screw and the wood, and we have something like direct expense. Alright, so now we have our dude here, Mr. Man, actually exerting labor to produce the table. So this here is what you call direct labor. Alright, so he checks quality control. So probably we could have gotten somebody else to check here. So suppose this was a supervisor. So this would be overhead. Well, he is checking it himself, so we cannot say this is an overhead. But supposedly we had somebody else overlooking his work. Then this would have been an overhead. But in this case, it's not. Alright, his goods is ready to be sold. That's the end of the manufacturing process. So you'll take into account their cost of the raw material, the expense, and all of these will give you what you call the prime cost. So these are the direct costs in terms of production. Alright, so let's look here. We are asked to calculate the direct cost, total direct cost for Nigel Carr's products for the year ended 31st January 2018. So we're going to look at the items. We're going to identify what are the direct costs. Remember, we have three: direct material or raw material, we have direct labor, and we have direct expense. Well, direct material. Anyway, so admin cost is out of the factory. So this here is going to be something that goes to the income statement. Cost of raw material, this is a direct cost. Factory rent, this is an indirect cost. It's in the factory, so it's an overhead. Factory heating, same as above. Manufacturing labor is the same thing as direct labor, so this here is a direct cost. Selling and distribution cost, this here will go in the income statement. So we have two items. We have direct cost, we have direct material. So direct material, and we have direct labor, 432,600,445. So our direct expenses 544,600. Alright, so our next session will go a bit further into manufacturing account and the detailed manufacturing account.